Hi, I'm Eric with Spartan Homes. If you're considering building a custom home but really aren't sure how to get started, our free consultation process is designed just for you. In this video, we cover what happens before and during the consultation, including how we prepare with an initial phone call to ensure our meeting is as valuable to you as possible. If you find this helpful, click the link in the description to schedule your consultation or fill out the form on our website below. So the initial phone conversation that we have with you, we are trying to find out if you have land. If you don't have land, do you need to talk to a realtor? If so, we can help you get in contact with a realtor. We're also trying to understand if you have any plans that you're interested in, whether they're from our website or somebody else's website. Do you have style preferences? Do you have an amount of bedrooms you're in need of? Do you like a two-story? Do you not like a two-story? We're trying to find out all the information, and we're trying to identify what you are looking for in a home. We're also trying to identify whether somebody is in need of getting their plat work done. Do you have any drain field paperwork? If you don't, if you're in the midst of purchasing property, we're going to offer that we can come out and meet you and look over all your paperwork and kind of discuss where your house might be, whether it can be a sunken basement, walkout basement, garage on the left, that kind of thing. Once we get the information from your phone call outlined and identified, we're really then going to move into your free home build consultation. And that's going to be something where we'd like to either meet you in person or have a Zoom call. Depending on somebody's schedule, we can meet them at their lot, meet them at the office, or we can do, like I said, a Zoom call. We will try to get that on schedule as soon as possible for you. So again, then we can go into some more detail. Once we get the information and the plan you're looking for, most people are in need of, or they want to know, what is the price, right? From the first minute I talk to them, most people just want to know the price. There's a lot of information that we need, or anybody needs, to come up with a price. But part of the free custom home build consultation is us giving a ballpark figure based upon what plan somebody's looking for, what level of finish they might be looking for, what type of drain field, how much clearing. And that's really hard to do until you identify a lot more information. But part of the free custom home build consultation is identifying a ballpark figure. So we're trying to find out, like, have you looked at our standard features through all the photos on our website? Do you have specific flooring or specific cabinetry that you want included? And then that way I can at least try to have an amount figured for what it might cost. Again, it's really difficult to pin down a price without a lot more information, and it's the number one question everybody has is how much per square foot you are, or how much is it going to cost me? And all the questions we're asking helps identify where you might be in a cost, because I don't want to give you just a ballpark I don't even consider anything. I just say, okay, they sound like they can afford something, so I'm going to throw out this number. I am really trying to find some information that will help me identify the price range that you're going to be in, and the plans, the plat, the drain field information, and the level of finishes are going to help me do that. We are not trying to eliminate people based upon whatever price they think it may be. We're just trying to set expectations that if you're showing me $1 million plan and you want to pay $300,000 for it, we want to identify that we're that far away to begin with, because some people really have no idea and they're going to be fine with whatever the cost is. But then other people, when they throw out that 300,000 number, that is literally what they've been qualified for, and they can't afford anything else more. We are not the typical builder, so we're never going to be the cheapest. We're always going to be several percentage points higher than somebody else based upon all the quality that we're giving and the finish levels that we start with. We just need to make sure that everybody understands that. And unfortunately, everybody that calls us does not really read our website. And we just have to identify people, make sure that we're all on the same page, because we don't want to continue and basically waste your time if we're not on the same page to begin with. When you come down for your first home build consultation and we're actually meeting you in person for the first time, first of all, of course, we're going to meet each other, greet each other, try to just explain a little bit about our company. We're family owned and operated. The way that we build is building higher than industry standards. We're going to build your home to the silver level of the National Green Building Standard. So there's a lot of information on here that we're just trying to reiterate, make sure that you understand. After that, we're just going to sit down and review and discuss all the information that you've given us so far. I have a nice big TV. We try to shoot everything up to the TV we'll show you your site plat, we'll show you your drain field information, we'll bring up the house plans that we've discussed, and then possibly some of the finishes that people discuss. If not, then we'll bring up our standard feature list and run over that real quick, just to make sure that everybody's comfortable with the level of what we're talking about that's going to be included. And before we even get there, remember, we've had some time before the original consultation phone call and this meeting. So in the background, I've been working many hours just trying to come up with a ballpark price. Just reiterating any of this info, some people may say, oh, now I want to add a detached garage. Can you do that also? Absolutely. That probably won't be included in our pricing that we talk about today. But let's go ahead and put that on the plat and identify where you may want to put this, or I can show you where I think you should probably put it based upon the topography. So there's a lot of information that we're just running through and reviewing when we first sit down and meet, and then we can get into specifics on the actual house plan or location of the land, or I'm sorry, the location of the house on the property. And we're really trying to put it on paper or put it up on a screen so that you can see what we're talking about. A lot of people have never built a custom home before, so they're curious about a lot of different things. And we just try to be very knowledgeable about a plethora of things that we can discuss with you. And my answer is, if I don't know something, I can find out for you, but I don't know it. I'm not going to try to guess, or I'm not going to try to make something up. I'd rather put that on hold and get back to you with a real answer. I believe we differ from our competition because we have an open conversation where we can be talking about many things. I am actually the builder you're talking to up front. I'm not a salesperson. Yes, I do sales because I own the business, but I'm the actual builder. I know all the codes, and I'm not saying that I know them all in my head. I'm saying I have the book. I know, go to all the classes. I'm very familiar with all these items. I don't have to go check with somebody else to make sure it's okay with my boss. I am the boss. You're talking to the boss. When you come in here, the only thing that we may have to do if we're not familiar with the pricing on something, or we're not familiar with the product itself, I have to call people. I have to find out about a product. But for the most part, you're talking to the person that you're going to be talking to through the entire build about anything that you may want to do or have to do. Yes, there are other people involved, but when it comes to a high level of understanding, I'm the guy that from day one, when you come and sit down with us, you're talking to me. I'm responsible for building your home the proper way. And my competition normally is a salesperson that works for a manager that has another manager that has to talk to 2 or 3 other bosses. So if you can imagine, I would think and I would hope that if you asked me to include something in the house, we're going to get it 99.99% of the time, if not even a higher ratio than that. Where if you're asking a salesperson, can they do this? Then the answer is probably going to come back no, just because they have to go through so many hoops. They know they're not going to be able to do it, so they don't offer a lot of custom things. During the consultation, we're also walking you through on that nice big TV in my office. We're going to shoot up our software package, and we're going to show you what somebody else's job looks like. We are trying our best to keep on the forefront of whatever software is out there for a builder, and we're trying to make sure that a homeowner has a great communications avenue, because if we can communicate back and forth better, that means they're going to get what they want better. That means I'm going to be able to hear better. I can, just because somebody asks me something, I can't think of something very specific. We've all been in situations where somebody says, I asked you that. I may have heard it from my angle, from a builder's angle, and may not have understood what you wanted. So we're trying to show you on the communications package that we're not only listening to you, we're going to put it in writing. It's going to be there forever for everybody to see. It's going to be documented. If somebody asked us to move a closet, for instance, we're going to be documenting it on the plan. You're going to sign off that you want it on the plan. And we're trying to do this like almost as it happens. We don't want a list of 100 things that we have to go back and recapture in 5 months. We want to go ahead and document everything as it happens, because then we can ensure that we didn't forget something. If we just have a running list somewhere of 100 items, I doubt that those 100 items would get done. But if during the discovery process we've asked and documented 100 things, then we know it's going to get done because it's already documented. Every Friday at minimum, we're explaining what went on during the week. We're showing them how we upload photos, and they can see if the house is getting shingles. We're going to send you photos of the house being shingled and different progress of it. We're trying to show also little segments of the selections process and how each selection has either an identified paragraph stating what we're doing. Most things have either words and a paragraph stating what we're doing, and it has a document, and it might have some photos or files attached to it. We're trying to show all that information up front to make sure that they're comfortable. Most of our customers are 2 hours away, probably minimum, and they cannot be down here all the time. But a lot of them at the end of the project will say, I really appreciated Co-Construct because we felt like we were there, even though we didn't come down but maybe once a month. We felt like you were including us in the process. That's what we're shooting for. That's what we're trying to do. If you're getting a custom car built across the country, you would probably want them to shoot you some photos. So we're trying to do everything that we can to explain the steps of building, who you'll be talking to about a change order, the superintendent, who he is, how he's going to handle things if you ask him to make a change, and how that's going to get documented. We're trying to explain if you ask during the build to change your entire house to hardwood and you were supposed to have all the bedrooms be carpet, we're trying to explain how that process would work on a change order. So we're trying to do anything we can do in the short amount of time that we have to explain our entire process and our thought process. And the biggest thing that we always say is, if you're not comfortable with something, let us know so we can explain it better. After the consultation or during the consultation, if they're making changes that I'm pretty familiar with the pricing, I can actually adjust on the fly and add that. But if they ask me for, just for instance, hey, I want a garage that looks like this, I want that added to the price, how much? And I have to say, I don't know today, but I'll get back with you within about 48 hours and let you know. I am trying to close the loop on this and see if they're comfortable with me and I'm comfortable with them, whether we move forward to the pre-construction agreement, which then is getting everything ready for the build. So if they're asking me to do something, I'm trying to get back with them within about a 2-day period just to close the loop and make sure they have whatever pricing they need. That way it's up to them to decide whether they want to move forward or not, and they're not waiting on me. I try, and I don't know if this is a fault or a good thing, but I have to do things like as they come up. I want to get them done right away and get it off my list because I don't want to forget about something. I stay up at night thinking about way too many things, so I don't want to be thinking that I forgot to give somebody a price or whatever. I have to keep my traffic flowing and keep my traffic moving. And the only way that I can do that in a decent way is if I respond the way that I'm supposed to respond, then that's out of my hands, it's in somebody else's. I would say probably two of the big things that we'll talk to you about at the end of the consultation is a lot of people want to know time period and how the time period of a build would work. So we actually walk you through the time schedule of what a standard pre-construction agreement takes, then the permitting process, and then the build process. Some houses, and again, everybody's going to be individual, but if they're looking at some huge monster of a home, 10,000 square foot home, that's going to take a little bit longer. So we can tell them, hey, it's going to take this long for your home. So we're trying to tailor everything to the actual plan that somebody has. The next thing that we're probably talking to you about, a lot of people want to know, how does the money work? When do you get paid? And it works differently whether you're paying out of pocket or whether you're going through a bank. So we go through the different ways of us getting paid, and then we go through the different processes of how that works and when we actually get our draws. The next and final step of the consultation would be just re-summarizing. This is the plan. This is what we've talked about today. This is the amount or proposed budget that we think it's going to fall within. I ask you if you're comfortable with that, then our next step with Spartan would be we sign a pre-construction agreement, and that gets us under contract, and then we actually start drawing or making modifications to the plans that you want. After we do that, we get a site plan with that house on there, we get it staked out, and then we go through the entire process of getting all your selections done. So if you're comfortable today at the end of our consultation and you want to move forward, then this is our next step. We sign a pre-construction agreement. I think there's a couple things that you can do to set yourself up with success, whether you're talking to Spartan or whether you're talking to another builder. And that is actually taking some time yourself and doing some research. See if there is a house plan that you like, then bring that particular house plan to the builder's attention. If you have a plat or if you have drain field information, make sure that you have access to it, that you can send it to the builder before the meeting. That way they can look at it. Another thing that we find that should be a basic, but if somebody's looking at a piece of property, one of the things we ask, is it staked out? Can we see the four corners or however many corners there are on the property? Because a lot of people assume that, hey, I'm looking at lot 34, the waters, and they can assume that we can just go in there and look at it. We can, but we have to do some research first to find out. And if somebody says, here's the plat, the four corners are already staked, we know we can just drive there and walk on the lot, and we know, exactly where it is. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of times at the lake that I've heard of that people bought a piece of property, it wasn't staked out. They didn't do any research. A year or two or 3 or 5 later, they went to build a home, and the builder is taking them to the lot next to what they thought they owned because the realtor told them that they owned a certain lot, and this is where it was. And it turns out that's not the case. It doesn't matter if you're buying a car or a watch or whatever, you probably want to see it first before you pay for it. At this point, we're each just trying to vet each other. We're trying to see if we can work with each other. And the biggest advice that I give to people after the consultation is, and I know you're probably talking to another builder or two, and that's totally fine, and we want you to. We want to be able to stand out. So we want you to go talk to the other builders. But the biggest thing is, if you feel more comfortable with one builder versus the other, then you should listen to your gut and you should probably build with that builder because it is a long process. There's a lot of communication. If you feel that our personalities clash or you just don't like me or whatever, it's much, much better for everybody. You get with somebody that you actually want to be with. You're going to spend a lot of time with them, so spend time with somebody that you want to spend time with. The next step is that you just go to our website. There's a form on our website that you can fill out if you're interested in a free consultation, and we will get an email right away and we'll respond normally within about 12 hours, depending on what time of day we get it. We'll set up a phone call with you and then we'll go from there. You can always call us at our office, 540-895-9966. But the easiest way is probably our website at spartanhomesinc.com.